Hey everyone, it's Daniel Brother Barbaros. In this next video, we're going to be creating our VM template. Okay, so we already installed VMware Workstation, so we're going to open that from our taskbar. We're going to right click here in the library area, click New Folder. I'm going to type CM Lab. Okay, then we're going to go to File, New Virtual Machine. I'm going to go to Custom. Next, our hardware dropdown, just use the newest version here. Next, I will install the operating system later. Next, we're going to choose Microsoft Windows, and then in our version dropdown, go to Windows Server 2025. Next, we'll just call this template, and as you can see, it's saving it on our fast drive in our virtual machines folder we created. Next, we're going to choose Secure Boot UEFI. Next, number of processors, we'll put 2. Next, 2 gigs of RAM or 2048 megabytes. Next, we use network address translation. We're going to change that here in a moment. Next, we use the recommended I/O controller type, the recommended disk type. Next, we'll create a new virtual disk. Next, now I did the math for you here. So 128 gigs for Windows. It will create a 674 megabyte recovery, 100 meg reserved for system, and 16 megs reserved. Okay, and all in all, that equals around 128.8 gigabytes. So that's what we're going to set it for. That way, when we do install, we'll have an exactly 128 gig drive, whereas these will all be hidden. Okay, so we'll go 128.8, store as a single file because we're not on a system with less than 4 gigs of RAM. Next, we'll click on Customize Hardware. We'll go to our new CD DVD drive, use ISO image file, click on Browse. If you're following along, we're right here. Okay, we're going to go to our Windows Server 2025. Under our CM Lab Operating Systems folder, you'll see the ISO there for Server 2025. Good. Go to Network Adapter. We're going to click on LAN segment. LAN segments, add. We'll type CM Lab. There we go. And there we are. And our dropdown, we'll select CM Lab for now. All right. And then we'll go to Display. We're going to uncheck Automatically Adjust User Interface Size in the virtual machine. We'll click Close, and we'll click Finish. There we go. Now what we'll do is right-click again, Settings, go to our Options tab. Under Access Control, we're going to encrypt our drive so that we can grab a TPM, or Trusted Platform Module, and that's for BitLocker. So encrypt, go to Advanced, and uncheck this Disable Side Channel Mitigations for Hyper-V enabled host, just in case you have Hyper-V enabled and you're not aware. That'll be good. Okay, so hardware, add Trusted Platform Module, or TPM, finish, and OK. I'm going to drag this right underneath the CM Lab. There we go. Click on Power on this machine, and you'll see a pop-up. This is only the first time that we're loading this up, so I'm going to click Do Not Show This In Again. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click on the screen, and I'm going to wait for this to time out. And when it does, we're going to wait for the boot manager, and I'll come back when boot manager is on the screen. Okay? Okay, and there we are. So now you see the boot manager. All we're going to do is we're going to go down here to our EFI VMware Virtual SATA CD-ROM drive. Now, next time this happens, next time you boot up a drive, because we've set it so that that pop-up doesn't come up, you can just press any key to continue, okay? So this will come up, press spacebar, and you press Control and Alt on your keyboard will allow you to move your mouse out, and we can close this, okay? So right there, Control Alt, close the click of the virtual machine. Now we're going to select our language, so we're right here. You know, we got our time and currency, our keyboards, and there we go. I agree, everything will be deleted. Of course, there's nothing on this machine, so that's fine. We're going to choose the Server 2025 standard evaluation with desktop experience. Next. Okay. Accept. Okay. I'm going to click create partition, click apply. And this is just going to show you what I was talking about with how it allocates space. Okay. So you see it gives a partition with 100 megs, another partition with 16 megabytes, and then our partition 3 has 128.7, but it creates that 640 megabyte reserved. Okay, so, or recovery. Next, and install. And we'll come back when that's at the custom settings screen. I'll see you in a few moments. Okay, and we're back. So now we can set our password. I've given you a password here, but you can change it to whatever you'd like. Okay. Make sure it's, by the end of these video series, you'll be able to type this with your eyes closed. So, finish. Okay. There we are. So in VMware Workstation, don't press Control-Alt-Delete. You press Control-Alt-Insert because it's not on the host. Okay. So Control-Alt-Insert. Allows you to log in. All right. Give that a moment. It'll come up with the send diagnostic data to Microsoft. I usually use the required only. Accept. I'm going to click on the screen here and press my numlock key so that I can use the numlock or the number keys on my keyboard. Okay, I'm going to click don't show this message again. There we go. Now on local server, I'm going to click on services. I'm going to click on the top service. I'm going to hold down my shift key, press the bottom one. Okay. Then I'm going to right click on any of the services and click start services. We're going to wait for those to disappear. And that way they're all started, and I'll come back when that's ready. Okay, all those services have started. Click OK. We're going to go up here to Manage Server Manager Properties, and I'm going to say Do not start Server Manager automatically at logon. OK, and close Server Manager. Now I'm going to right-click on Start, Terminal Admin. I'm going to double-click my title to our title bar to maximize. I'm going to close this information bar, and then I'm going to close Terminal. Okay. Now I'm going to right-click my template, click Install VMware Tools, and now it's going to use that new ISO that I uploaded. You can close this here, which we just saw the pop-up, and you'll wait for the autoplay window to come up. Okay, give that a few seconds. There it is. You can close that. Okay, and then we'll click on File Explorer. We'll click this PC. I'm going to right-click my local disk C, rename. I'm going to type OS disk, just like that. And I'm going to double-click my VMware Tools and close File Explorer. Right here, in case you're following along, 228. There we go. These are the newest version of the VMware Tools that we downloaded. Install. That shouldn't take too long. You'll hear a chime when the video driver installs. There it is. Give that a moment. There it is. There's your chime. Okay. And finish. And yes. And then we'll come back when that's at the logon screen. Okay, and here we are. So we're going to do Control-Alt-Insert, just like that, log in. And what I like to do is I like to give it about 60 seconds to load all of the services and everything else. So right-click on Start, timeout/T60, OK, and you'll see a timer ticking away here. Okay, we'll come back when that's at 0 or when it disappears, and then we'll get started again on all the rest of the settings. Okay. All right. And now what we'll do is we'll right click on the desktop, display settings. Now, to know that your VMware tools have already loaded, you see how long this is to direct input to this VM, move the mouse pointer inside or press Control G. That will usually just say direct VM input. And then once it expands to this, that tells you that your VMware tools are loaded. Okay, you can see the icon there. All right, so we're going to check on display resolution. I'm going to change it to 1280 by 960. Make sure that you change it to something to where you can see. So I would say at least 1280 by 800, right? Something that allows you to see down below, because when we get to installing certain software, we're going to need this extra height. Okay, so close settings. Now I'm going to right click on run, and I'm going to type control desk.cpl, comma, 0. And what that's going to do is going to bring up the control for desktop icon settings. Okay, so computer, user files, and network I like to have on my desktop. I'm going to right click, view, and auto arrange those icons, and I have those readily available. Okay, now when we get into our domain, we're going to actually add registry keys to our GPOs to allow those to always be set up on all of our machines. All right, so we're good there. Now we're going to change our time and date. So time date.cpl, enter. Okay, I'm going to change my time zone. So I'm in Arizona. So I'll click that there, choose your time zone. Now, sometimes there's daylight savings time. So if your time is off, go ahead and click that here and you can adjust your time as necessary. So click OK, and there we go. I'm going to right click, terminal admin. On our drop down arrow here, I'm going to go to settings, and I'm going to fix it so that we don't have this multi-line paste warning anymore. So open our JSON file, notepad, just once, and right underneath this schema area, I'm going to press the spacebar 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to copy this multi-line paste warning false, paste that there, file, save, close notepad, close settings, and close our terminal. And now, right click terminal, and we're going to wait about 60 seconds, let everything go through, and then we'll get to copying and pasting our commands. And I'll go through each one of those commands as we do that. Okay, and we're back. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set our registered owner, registered organization in our server. So you can change these here, user and CM lab, change it to whatever you'd like. Okay, I'm then going to disable the UAC prompt just for administrators. Okay, so regular users are going to still see that UAC prompt. We'll actually set this up in GPO later on. I'm going to increase my maximum file path from 260 to 32,767 characters, and that's for long paths, and I like to have that enabled. Okay, then I'm going to set my power profile to balanced, but I'm going to make it so that our hibernation is off and all our disk and monitor standby timeouts are off as well. That way the screen doesn't go blank while we're doing things. Okay, I like to do that. I'm going to set no auto run on drives. Even though we remove the CD drive, when we load up a ISO file, it's the same thing. It'll think it's another drive. We're going to set the network connection to private, which in server 2022 and below, it would automatically pop up and say, would you like to set this to private? We're going to do that. Server 2025 and Windows 11 don't do that anymore, so we'll set that. We're going to set rules so that to allow ping, inbound and outbound for our server. I'm going to disable the Azer Arc taskbar here. Okay, that's just a registry key. For the best practice analyzer, short file name creation should be disabled. So the old 8.3 name creation, it's disabled. Okay, remove leftovers from the installation. If you look here under OS disk, you'll see there's a Windows old folder. We're going to remove that as well. Okay, we're going to fix a few of the services to start automatically, and then as each service gets to its servicing pipe timeout, which by default it's 30 seconds, we're going to set it to 90 for our CM server, but when it gets there, it'll try to restart that service 3 times in case it hasn't started yet. And that's a good practice to do. Then down here, we're going to, this here is just our KMS keys. This is a repository that shows you all of them. So you have the standard, data center, Azer edition, you got server 2022, Server 2019, Server 2016, and then down here you have Windows 11, Windows 10 Pro, Enterprise. So all of your KMS keys are here on that site. So we're going to add the KMS key for server standard. We're going to enable .NET Framework 3.5, which is going to use the source from our installation media. We'll install BitLocker in the BitLocker management tools. We'll disable shipped with reserved storage for sysprep. This, if you don't do this and then you install Windows updates, sometimes it will not allow you to do a sysprep. So I'm going to do that. It's a DISM command, but it's also a registry key that we set. Okay, and then I don't like to include drivers with my Windows updates on VMs. So I'm going to disable that, and that keeps it stable. Okay, so we'll go back up to the top. I'm going to start from here, line 327 down to 337. I'll paste those. Good. We'll set our power profile, 340 to 350. Paste. Good. We'll go from 353 down to 363. Paste like that. Give that a moment. You'll see it. All right, we're all good there. We'll disable the Azer Arc in the taskbar, our best practice analyzer, and remove those leftovers just like that. Paste those. I'm going to fix those services. Now, a lot of people will say, hey, you put a lot of extraneous stuff in here. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, these are what I have found to be the best practices, in my opinion. If you don't like certain things, you don't have to implement them, okay? But I'm just showing you what I know works and what I have come to the conclusion that anytime I set up a template, this is what I do, okay? So we can copy from 404 all the way down to 417, just like that. Paste that. And we're going to let that go as it's going to be installing certain things from the disk. And I'll be back when that is ready. Okay, and that's good to go. Now we're going to do not include drivers with Windows updates, and then we'll stop our computer. Okay, so there we go. Give that a moment. Once it's shut down, we're going to right-click on template, settings. I'm going to go to CD, DVD, and I'll just click remove. For our LAN adapter, we're going to go now to NAT so that we can get on the internet used to share the host's IP address. Go to options, shared folders, click always enabled, map as a network drive, add, next, browse. We're going to go to our lab area, which is on our F drive CM lab. Okay. Next, finish. Okay. And then we'll power on this virtual machine. Okay. Come back when that's at the logon screen. All right, and here we go. Control Alt Insert. Let's log in. We're going to right click Start, Run. We should still have our timeout on there. So let's drop down 60 seconds. Click OK. And we'll come back when that's at 0. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 0. There we go. So we're going to right click Run. inet cpl.cpl. That'll open up our internet properties. We're going to go to the security tab, local intranet, sites. We're going to add our CM lab to our sites. That way it's viewed as an intranet site for now. No security warnings. So click OK. It's trusted. There we are. And what we're going to do, we're going to copy CM trace from our configuration manager, which is used for log file viewing. If you've used any MECM in the past, or SCCM or SMS, you probably have used CM trace. So we're going to copy it from there. We're going to change some registry settings around to set log file association. We're going to have CM trace be the default handler for that. We're going to suppress the CM trace default viewer prompt. So if you double click on MCM trace right now, it's going to say, hey, do you want to set this as the default viewer? We're going to suppress that prompt, and we're going to set up to reinforce that registry change, not for just the current user, for all users. So copy from 493 down to 516 and paste that here. There we go. And now those VMware templates, the ADMX and ADML files, we're going to copy all of those to our policy definitions folder in the Windows directory. So ENUS is my language. If you are using a different language, go ahead and change that here. And copy down to 559 and paste that here. There we go. All right, that was simple enough. Now what we're going to do is we're going to update Microsoft Edge, the Edge Web View runtime, and then any other installed packages like Visual C++ runtimes, etc. Okay. Then we're going to interactively install PowerShell 7. That way we get the newest version, 7.5.0. Okay. Now down here, I'll get to this fix the best practice analyzer. There is a problem in the SMB PowerShell file that it has a typo where it's auto disconnect timeout instead of auto disconnect timeout in minutes. Okay, so we'll fix that here in a moment. All right, so first things first, let's grab from 561 down to 569. We're going to let that cook, and we'll come back when that is completely done. Okay, I'll see you then. As you can see, it's going to update all of these, the app installer, the Visual C++ 2015 UWP, Windows Terminal, the Visual C++ redistributables. It shows you the version and the version that it's going to upgrade to are available. So it's getting to that, and I'll come back when that's done. Okay, and now we're done with that. We're going to install our PowerShell 7. There we go. Next, we're going to say enable PowerShell remoting, disable telemetry, add open here context menu to Explorer, and add run with Windows 7 context menu. Okay, these can be at the default. Next, and install. Give that a few moments. Shouldn't take too long. I'll come back when that's ready. And here we are. So we'll click Launch PowerShell, Finish. There we go, 7.5.0. We can type exit, and we're good to go. All right, let's fix that SMB file. So first we're going to take ownership of it, and then we're going to open it with Notepad. Okay, paste. There we go. I'm going to edit and replace. And what we're going to do is we're going to find auto disconnect timeout equals 15. Paste that here, and we're going to replace it with auto disconnect timeout in minutes v1 equals 15. Okay, there we go. Replace all, close that replace, file, save, and we can close Notepad. Now we're going to restart our computer. Okay, and we'll come back when that's at the logon screen. All right, that didn't take too long, so Control-Alt-Insert. We'll log in. Here we go. Just as before, right-click, run. Look for our timeout, 60 seconds. Okay, and we'll be back when that's ready to go. Okay, and here we are. So click Start, Settings. We're going to go to Windows Update. You can expand this here. There we go. Click Check for Updates, and I'll come back when there's some on the screen. Okay, and you can see it's downloading the updates, and we'll come back when those are ready to install. While those are downloading, if you'll notice here, you'll see this software updates not connected to the update server. And if that bothers you, it bothers me too, but what I found out is that the Broadcom guy says that this is on us. You can see a certificate error occurred, right? Some old code in the apps defaulted to HTTP, but the new Broadcom backends require SSL, but the binaries haven't been batched to do that yet. You can install tools by downloading them from the support portal, which I did. The next version we ship will resolve this. So don't worry about the this little error here as we downloaded the VMware tools ourselves. So, okay, that's just a little headache that if your ADHD is kicking in or your attention to details kicking in, don't really worry about that little thing. Okay, I'll see you in a few moments. Okay, and we're ready to restart. As it says, completed, pending restart, and all the rest are completed. So we'll restart now, and we'll come back and when we're at the logon screen. Okay, and we're ready to log in. Control-Alt-Insert. There we go. Now, sometimes after you've installed these updates, sometimes there's an additional update for Windows Defender or something. So what we'll do is we'll right-click, run, and we'll wait 60 seconds for everything to load up, our services, our network, everything. And we'll come back and we'll check and see if there are any additional updates. Okay. Okay, we're back. There we go. So we'll click on Start. Settings. We're right here in case you're following along. Go to Windows Update. We'll click Check for Updates. And we'll verify that we're up to date. Usually, like I said, there'll be one additional update after the cumulative updates, and it's normally a Windows Defender update. So I'll be back when that's ready. Yep, as you can see, it says downloading, update for Microsoft Defender. Shouldn't take too long. Now it's installing. And I'll come back when it's done installing. Okay, completed. Now it says you're up to date. We can close settings. Now what we're going to do is we're going to clean up our recently opened items, which is a couple of these things. We'll clean up Explorer. And then in order to prepare for our sysprep, we have to get rid of some of these provisioned packages, which is the Edge and WinGet. But don't worry, they'll still work. We're just removing them for the current user. And then when we do our sysprep, we should be good to go. So we'll go all from 663 down to 675. We'll right click, go to Terminal Admin, and paste those. There we are. Stop computer. Give that a few moments. There we are. We'll right click, template settings, go to our network adapter, go to LAN segment, and go to our CM lab. We'll go to our options tab up here, go to our shared folder, click here, remove, yes, uncheck the map as a network drive, and click disabled, and click OK. Now, if you've done this already and you're waiting and you're going to go to the next video for a while, and if it's been more than one day, you can follow along these steps, and that's just to check if there are any additional updates or if there's any more upgrades to any applications, okay? So I left that in here for you guys. I'll see you in video 3.